Experiment, Episode 2. We're going to be doing a Timballo, which is an Italian dish that is a baked pasta dish, usually done in a kettle drum, yay this big. But for our purposes, we're going to be using a 7-quart cake pan. I found this a lot easier to cook and evenly cook as well when we did it. And we tested this recipe out. Family really liked it. And it really turned out very well, and I think that you're going to enjoy it. I want to add, though, at the beginning here that we have some recipes that are going to be coming up on the screen as we're going through the ingredients. I'll explain how they were done. The cooking portion of it was already pre-done so that we could really show you the assembly, which is the important part of this dish. So if you have a meatball recipe, a sausage recipe of your own, a tomato sauce recipe of your own, I would encourage you to use those in this dish. The assembly part of it is the one that's very, very important. So we got some great reviews when we did it. I actually didn't hear from JB. Hey, JB Donuts, what do you think, man? Huh? You talking to me? All right then. Well, what do you say we dive into this thing? We'll go through the ingredients, and let's do this Timballo. First on the listed ingredients we have fresh-made meatballs. That you can see the recipes coming up right now. Once again, I can tell you, if you have a great recipe for meatballs, by all means use it. There's 1 pound of meatballs here and 1 pound of sweet Italian sausage. These are going to be cooked in olive oil, browned, fully cooked, and then cut in half. And then with the sausage, we're going to fully cook it, also either in the oven or in a pan, whatever you prefer to do, and you're going to slice that down. And we're going to put these things throughout the Timballo. Next on the list, we have 7 fully cooked hard-boiled eggs, which will be cut in half when we do the assembly, and 1 pound of fresh mozzarella. Next on the list is going to be 1 pound of fresh cooked ziti, tubular pasta, 2 cups of homemade tomato sauce, which we're just going to mix together for you right now, and 2 large eggs beaten. We're going to add that into the entire mix. The purpose in that is to help bind it when all of this is cooked. All right, next, one of the most important parts of this entire dish, and that is the fresh pasta. Fresh pasta was made with 6 large eggs, 4.5 cups of 00 flour, which is the extra finely milled flour, 2 pinches of salt, and 2 tablespoons of water. The reason I use 00 is I find it a lot more pliable. I cut these into 4 separate sheets that I could roll out, and these will be used to wrap our dish when we make the Timballo. Okay, next on the list, we've done 1 pound of pecorino pasta. And that's a very large tubular pasta, if you can see that. Then we made a ricotta and spinach mix, where we took 12 ounces of spinach, 3 cups of ricotta cheese, 2 large eggs, some salt and pepper, mixed it all together. Now I'm going to show you very quickly how we fill this. I want to use this mix here, fill it into a pastry bag, and start filling your pasta like so. Okay, each one of them needs to be filled, so we'll just do a couple here. And then they get layered in the Timballo. Okay, now we're going to get into the assembly of the Timballo. So as you can see, we have our pan. We're going to add in some olive oil. Brush it. Very important here so that it does not stick. With our pastry brush like that. Make sure you get all the edges there. Okay. Then we'll start layering in our pasta sheets, being certain to overlap them so we have some pasta left over. Now, as we get these going like this, what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of egg wash and brush these pieces that are going to be married together as we do them. You can do the entire pasta sheet in one sheet if you wish to. That certainly can be done. I choose to do it this way. It looks more like a rustic look for me. Go in here, do that, like so. Right. Close to the edge. Okay. A little egg wash to that. Okay, we've got our pasta sheets in, and the first ingredient in is going to be the ziti that we mixed with the tomato sauce. Okay, get all of that good stuff in there. Okay, we're going to add in our meat, the meatballs. So, cut the meatballs in half, just so you know. We have the sausage. Give that a tap, get rid of some of the air bubbles in there, make it a little bit more compact when it cooks. We're going to add our eggs in. Center there, just for good measure. Right. Fresh mozzarella cheese. Similar layer of pasta sheet like that. Then comes in peccari, which are stuffed with the ricotta cheese. This is probably the most time-consuming part of the dish, would be these stuffed two pastas. But in the end, it will be very much worth it. Now, here's the key part too. We're going to brush these with some of that egg wash, yes? Here, because we're going to start enclosing this again. One more piece of that pasta sheet there on top of this pasta. This isn't a pasta dish, I don't know what it is. Okay. Brush again. Fold over. Pat down there. Now we've preheated our oven to 350 degrees. Brush this with the top, a little bit of egg wash as well. Now you're going to bake this for about an hour uncovered and then another hour covered. Okay, now this has come out of the oven. We have let this rest for about 40 minutes. It is still very, very hot. So what we're going to do is going to find, if you have a wooden cutting board, it'd be great to put it on a wooden cutting board. I have a large silver pizza pan, which works good for me. And here's how this gets done. You have to put your hand underneath this and quickly flip it over. Okay. Sounds good. Now the moment of truth. Oh, that's a beautiful thing right there. Time to cut it and see how we did. I'll be quite honest with you. If you're going to do this dish, do it like this. Do it for a group of friends. Definitely cut it at the table. If you're going to bring it to, let's say, a holiday party, something like that, definitely unmold it and cut it in front of your friends, because it's going to be a wow factor, I believe. So let's hope we did well here. So let's find out, shall we? Now that's a beautiful thing right there. It looks nice. We're going to add a little bit of tomato sauce to this, to the plate. All right. There you have Timballo. Get a good shot of that, Michael?
Yep.
All right, so the Timballo. This dish, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier or not, takes about 3 or 4 hours to do start to finish. So how we designed this video was a lot of the prep work was done ahead of time so that we could explain a little bit more about the dish itself and the actual assembly of it, which is the real important part. And as you can tell, I had put the stuffed pasta at the last, and when we invert it, it becomes, you know, the very bottom of it. There's a purpose behind that, because if you put it in first and then all the ingredients on top, all that stuff is going to come out. So now, from a presentation standpoint, you can see from the still photo that we just put on that it's layered very nicely, and the eggs are there, and the meat is there, and it's really a great looking dish. And once again, if you do this at a holiday party, you do this for your family, make sure there's 8 to 10 people, man, because it's a lot of food. You're talking about 4 or 5 pounds of food. But it's really, really tasty, and it's really good. So hopefully, this is something else you're going to enjoy when you do it. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to put your comments and ask questions if you want. And in episode 3, we're going to keep it in the Italian region, and we're going to do arancini. And we're going to do it the way my uncle showed me how to do it in Sicily when I went there with my wife and my family. So that should be fun. And until then, be well, eat well. Thanks for watching.